It is nurturing. It's loving. It's it is the literal epitome of patience, right? Because the Empress has a beautiful, lavish garden of wheat, and the only way for her to have all that wheat is what? Having patience, nurturing those crops, and taking care of herself in between that. Because if she didn't take care of herself, there would be no growth. The plants would die. She wouldn't be well. Things wouldn't be right. So taking care of herself, taking care of others, taking care of the things that she has, that she wants to create in her life, that is what makes her so abundant and so at peace and so calm and so nurturing, so patient. You know what I mean? But there's death here. So I feel like you guys may have started something, started to create something, but there's something that you gotta let go of first. Somebody has, this whole reading is about releasing. Both of you guys are having to release something. Some of you guys are finding it very difficult to release something because this is possibly it's something that's been ingrained in your day to day, in your your actions. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just who you are, but you're finding it being it kind of showing up like a void sign, like it's not working. Like, it's almost like how you swipe a credit card, but you've maxed it out. It's like you've used all of that knowledge for whatever you were meant to use it for. But now, if you want to create something new, you're gonna have to kind of start from scratch because you don't have any more usage for that perspective anymore. You know what I'm saying? So the Death card is putting something to death, whether that's old pains or past disappointments, resentments. This could be, just like the old way of an old way of thinking that doesn't really work anymore, right? Because we understand what we need to receive after the Hangman, which we already passed, right? So it's about making space for the thing to come in, and that is making space, removing the other stuff, right? Removing the stuff that doesn't serve us anymore. Okay? And I feel like a lot of you guys right now, you guys already know this, you guys are having a hard time doing it, or you guys are, it's a struggle period, no matter who you are, because death is a slow energy, and it usually isn't something that we've ingrained or something that we've learned from past experiences. And it does come with some history, right? It does come from some things that have hurt us or some things that we've learned from a difficult place, okay? And a lot of times, sometimes, it's even something that we've grown up with. It doesn't have to be painful, but it's something that we did grow up with. Now, just going to start right into it. Feel free to pick the side that resonates with you guys the most. But you guys have here in your mind space, whoever this is, justice. So in regards to this relationship, already somebody wants an apology. Somebody wants an explanation, or at least to get to some sort of equal playing field, because some things are out of whack right now. Now, this person really is, coming from a place of wanting to not settle the score in a vengeance sort of way, but just to put things at an end, right? They want things to just wrap up, not end. Like, if this is a relationship in regards to they just want to work things out. They don't want to be in a situation where they can't progress anymore. That's just what I feel like with this justice person. They want things to just let's make sense. Let's talk. Let's communicate. Let's see what's going on. Because right now things are not well. Things are not how it should be. Or this is not how I want it to be, at least anyway. This is how this person's thinking. This person wants the relationship to balance their lives out, but right now it has to be on an equal place. So they're giving of themselves to make it right, or at least they know that they have to give of themselves to make it right, which means they have to reach out, they have to communicate, they have to show that they're willing to, to come up with some, come to this person, or come to the other side with the understanding of let's make amends, at least the best way that they can. I think this person wants to forgive the other person, or they want to forgive themselves, or this relationship is calling for them to forgive themselves for something that may have happened in the past, even, right? It doesn't even have to do with you, right? Or have to do with the other person. So it's all this person is looking for a balance in this relationship, all in all, whether that is forgiveness, whether it is, forgiving the other person, or wanting an apology, or wanting an explanation, or wanting to balance the relationship out. I think this person just wants things just to make sense again, just to be clear and make amends, or create, have amends, or whatever, right? Make amends with the situation that hasn't been right. Now, the other person is showing the star. They see this as a new opportunity, an opportunity for growth, an opportunity for happiness. And they understand, too, that this is where they're going to have to put in their work, right? They're going to go put in and give of themselves. Now, I know the star is coming up. This could be you, Aquarius, but I don't have to, right? You don't have to be. You only loan the energies to the star. They don't possess you as an energy. So the star is about inspiration, hope, healing. And I feel like this person, like I said, maybe coming in to apologize, maybe, and this is just somebody that's been working and putting their heart and soul into healing themselves, into a project, something that is going to help them grow in a beautiful way, or something that's gave them hope. But I think this relationship too, they see this relationship as healing, because they are giving and giving of the relationship, of themselves to the relationship to build off of, if that makes sense. They're healing themselves through this relationship. They're healing themselves by putting something into something, if that makes sense. I think both of you guys are maybe in a platonic place, or both of you guys are, because I feel very platonic vibes from this relationship here, but it doesn't have to be, right? It could be just it could be just romantic. But I feel like there's a platonic element to it, where this person is teaming up together with this person to heal, to have hope. And I think this is inspiring this person to give of themselves, right? To start again, to start anew. Whether it is giving a second chance to a relationship, or to their heart being open like it has been before. But where they're coming from, how they're showing themselves is the Page of Coins, which is like the Page of Pentacles, right? In the Rider-Waite. And the Page of Pentacles, that's commitment, right? Well, it can be commitment. It could be offering something of great value. This person is inspired, if not by the other person, by the relationship, by the opportunity that this relationship has presented them with, and they're giving of themselves, which is this offer, or this token of love, or this token of something practical and valuable, something that does show that this person wants to commit to working on something and putting their hard work towards something to grow it into great abundance, whether that is financial or if it's emotional, or both, right? But this other person is showing defensive energy. Like I said, this person is in a need, or may want to have a balance in the relationship, and they're defensive right now. And I feel like it's mainly because some things are just still not straightened out. Things are not really well understood. And it makes sense with the Five of Wands being in the challenge, right? Because this is about people butting heads. In my opinion, no one's angry with one another. Everybody has their own perspectives or their own ways of kind of doing things, but that does cause conflict, because everybody has their own techniques. Everybody has their own ways of doing things. Everybody has their own way of seeing the world. Everybody has their own idea of who they are, or they're at least trying to formulate it with other people's ideas and perspectives around them. And this is why it's so intense and so mind-boggling and so much. And it's because everybody has their own way of doing stuff, but nobody knows who they are. So this is like, in my opinion, that's how the Five of Wands is for me, which is why this is usually internal conflict rather than external, because you're trying to figure out who you are through the mess of things that you're going through right now, to understand who you are. Right? All these shoulds, all these maybes, right? Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do this. Everybody else is doing this. Maybe I should do that. No, it's about finding who you are. Because because the only way you're going to get to the Six of Wands is by recognizing what you've been doing and being proud of what you're doing. That's how people, that's how you get recognition, because you are happy with what you're doing, right? So that's a side story. But I feel like the conflict is here because someone is still not right in regards to things being off balance. Or there's still a challenge here. There's still some things that people can't agree on. There's still some things that aren't settled. The conflicts are still here, And I think this person is defensive, and not in a bad way, not like the Nine of Wands wall up. They don't know if they can deal with that, because they've already got so much, but they've gone through enough to be like, I don't know if this is an offer that I should really accept because of everything that I've gone through. The fight is still on, even though they're on a different playing field. They're on a different platform. They're looking at this Page of Pentacles, which could have been an offer of peace, but they're not in a place of peace to want, to realize that could be something completely different, that they can make that Page of Pentacles something completely different, something peaceful, like they want, but they have to, but they're coming from a place where they had to fight, and what they've learned, using that as a way to protect themselves rather than to achieve more. That's how I always see the Seven of Wands. They know what they know can get them to a better place, but they're using that information to protect themselves because they're not interested in dealing with anything that's going to cause them any more imbalance. This is about, I need to be stable. I need to protect me. And they do. They 100% do. Everything that this person's been through has been difficult. I mean, look at this. The reason what brought you two together was the Four of Swords. This is a time of healing. This is a time of pause. There was a reflective period of this. This is really a time where this is honestly, you're connecting the most with yourself versus connecting with anybody else. But the fact that you guys connected during the time of healing, connected during a time of reflection, this person may have gotten into something, right? Obviously as a way of like pretty much, I feel like this is more of like an enveloping of a healing process because everything happens for a reason. There's nothing ever too early or too late because this person meant to have this situation happen right now while this person was healing and reevaluating stuff. And I feel like the conflict is whether or not they're ready to deal with something new. Because this the Seven of Wands is like, I don't know if I'm like, they're dealing with this stuff here down at the bottom, but they're ready for new things. But I think they're just so focused on what they've been through, right? Healing, still in the middle of all that they don't realize that they're ready to take the next step. And this is just the next step that's coming in. They still think, they're like, oh shit, here we go again. Another test, another challenge, another thing that I got to deal with. No, this is something different, perhaps. They can see they can do something different here. But I think as well, it's not just like the old fight, right? This is commitment. This is asking of them commitment. And if you look here, right, what their spiritual plane is saying to them is the Knight of Wands, right? The reason why this person is offensive, the reason why this person wants balance, they want to make amends, they want to, they want to have, they want to make peace, pretty much. When I see justice, I think of the make peace card, or I see it as the make peace card. When you're just trying to, you're trying to balance things out, either apply forgiveness, or you want to, apologize, whatever. You want to make things just right? You want things to be balanced. But this person, the reason why they're acting like this is because they want freedom ultimately. They want to be free. They want to enjoy their space. The King of Wands is all about freedom. The Knight of Wands, is all about freedom. The Knight of Wands is all about doing what he wants to do. Not being tied down, not being committed to anything. And the reason why they're defensive is because I think this person is worried about losing that freedom again. They may be worried about losing the freedom, which is why they want things to just be all right, be cool, and not necessarily go out of threaten their freedom here. I'm going to actually pull for that too, because I want to know, why is the Knight of Wands coming up as the spiritual plane for this person on this side here? Because of the Three of Wands. They want to be free of expectation. Okay. They don't want anybody to expect anything from them. That's interesting. So they want to be free to do whatever they want to do without having anybody's expectations in them. They may have their own views and visions of what their future looks like, but they don't want perhaps they're worried that this offer is limiting them from being who they are or being whatever they want to be and truly aspiring towards goals that they've already set intentions toward. Could be. Let me see one more for that. Why is the Three of Wands coming up for the Knight of Wands? Why? Why is that? Oh, the Two of Pentacles. Okay, weighing options, juggling things. Yeah, practical. Yeah, I think they've already set their intentions on something. And the Two of Pentacles is showing that this person, they feel like they may have to feel like they have to have a choice. There's a choice to them. Like if either they commit to this person here that's offering them something, or they commit to themselves and continue to go down the road that they've already gone down. But I don't think that this is really them having to choose. I don't think this person is offering their, something like this as a condition. Like, hey, if you do this, you can't do you can't be yourself. You can't do any of that. I think this person wants commitment, but I don't know if this person thinks that they can give of themselves while they're doing their own thing. Very interesting. But the person on this side here has the Ten of Wands, which is very interesting to me. Okay, to me, I feel like this person, the reason why they're able to give of themselves like this, give an offer of something that does require commitment, that may require commitment, that does have something of great value from this person, that means something from this person that's giving it to the other person, right? As well as having, dreams or aspiring to something wonderful, right? That has the reason why this person has hope and is ready to start something new or sees this relationship as starting something over is because they have finally let go of something. They have let go of something that they've been carrying, or maybe they see this relationship as an opportunity to allow them the space to do that. Which is obviously a burden there's a lot for them to carry, but also a lot for this other person to carry, which is probably why this person here knows that they was a little bit hesitant in regards to accepting an offer like this, because they understand the burden that this person is carrying too. And they may feel responsible for having that, having this person, for accepting an offer like this with somebody that knows that they have a burden. You know what I'm saying? I think this person's I know that you're carrying a huge burden, and personally, I want to continue to do what I want to do without worrying about your burden affecting me. It's weird. That could be what's going on, right? Or I don't want to feel responsible for carrying a burden that you're carrying because you made a sacrifice to, start something with me that I have something going on my own. It's like, for instance, somebody's coming in with a business and it's not failing, but it could definitely use some work. But this person doesn't want to engage or want to put their effort into something that's not theirs, if that makes sense. Maybe they never wanted a restaurant, maybe they never wanted to have anything like that, but they feel like if they accept an offer like this from this person, that means that they have to juggle the responsibilities with this person's already burdensome situation, right? With this restaurant or with this business. And I think that I don't know if this is the case. But at the same time, with the Ten of Wands coming up, I don't know. Is this person coming into it, offering something to the other person that they know has, have a burden? Or is this them coming outside of their comfort zone, leaving behind the burdens of perhaps them being true to who they are and communicating what they want, but this person is seeing that they have a burden and feel like they have to take on the responsibility when this is not what they're offering? You know what I mean? It's so interesting because it's so interesting how this is all coming up, because the base message is to express your love. And I feel like maybe there's just a need for clarity to be had, because I think the person just wants clarity too. When justice comes up, right, usually there's a sword of truth along with the scales to balance them. You have the scales are balanced with a truth, with clarity. And I think that both parties need to have the challenge is dealing with the chaos and coming up with clarity in the situation, stabilize, get some things made sense, because there's a lot of stuff going on. Like I said, usually the Five of Wands rather is not the Five of Swords where it's chaotic and crazy and people are trying to go after each other's throats and stuff or do whatever they want to do on top of someone else's expense. None of that. The Five of Wands is just always a challenge. Intense things going on at once, and I feel like the clarity is needed to come through from this, right? I think everybody is coming from a place of where they just got done healing, but there's conflict now because there's not a lot of understanding of one another. They're trying to understand themselves at the same time. So I think everybody expressing where they want to come from is probably better. It's probably better than assuming. Because I don't think, at the same time, I don't really feel like everybody's assuming. I think they're just they're looking at from where they are, where they're doing, and how they're feeling. They're reacting based off of where they're coming from. Not that they're assuming the other person's stuff, but they're just coming from where they are in the moment. They're already overburdened or they're dealing with stuff, and this person may be done with all this, may have cleared their space, or they do have, some things that they are trying to let go of, and this relationship helps them, and maybe it's just there's a lot of confusion and not a lot of certainty as to why everything's coming up the way that it is. But I think Express Your Love is saying that there needs to be clarity in the situation, making space, right? Which death is coming up. You want to create something new, but in order to create that newness, right, in order to start building stuff, you have to start making space. And I think that making space is providing an outlet for there to be a conversation about what is actually being offered. You know what I mean? That could be it. That could be what's going on, right? Interesting, y'all. Interesting. But let's see what the heck the wisdom of the Oracle has to say with all this. To be fair. And this again, here we go again with balance. To be fair. Balancing the scales, getting some sort of, equilibrium going here. You know what I mean? It's very similar to making sure that you have an understanding as well as the other person. There's a balance that's needed here, and things are out of whack. Like I said, there's not a lot of balance. There's not a lot of clarity. There's a lot of stuff that's going on right now that everybody is kind of coming from a place of, of course, authenticity. Nobody's just, I don't know if anybody's assuming anything. I don't want to speak and say that no one is, because it very well could be. But I think there's a need for things to be balanced out, because there's not a lot of sense being made from everybody at this moment. You know what I mean? And I think there is a slight struggle to get that balance right now, because everybody's coming from a place of healing too. Like I said, the Four of Swords is all about healing. So let me quickly actually look at it with, a quick definition of to be fair. Yeah, balance, justice. I need to consider options, mutual benefits, the law of cause and effect. Actually, let me go ahead and read the Oracle message for you guys. Okay, so, because I don't typically do this, I don't do this for anybody else, but this is, I'm feeling really led to read this for you guys this time, okay? So, for those of you that were cross-watching, that didn't get yours read, I understood the meaning of the card through and through, but there's something additional with this Oracle's message that I definitely wanted to express to Aquarians, because I feel like this will definitely help them, and you, even cross-watchers that may be watching, okay? So, that it's not biased, it's not because I love Aquarians more, okay, but because I love my Aquarian family, but it's just that I'm led to read this at this moment. So anyway, life offers experiences that are challenging and experiences that are nourishing, yet over time they strike a balance. You move from static to doing, from exploring to loving to letting go to being again. Life is a pendulum swinging between all of these states. You will always oscillate back and forth between doing and being. If you are not content with where you are at this moment, remember that all experiences have their place. Accept them without judgment, and you will see how the universe adjusts in perfect balance. You reap what you sow. For every cause there is an effect. Wondrous things will be revealed now.